What's up, y'all? Back again. Love Wednesday routes, get a lot of drive time. Here to talk to y'all about how jobs and careers, really the same thing, they're underrated investments, and how people assume that investing is automatically, by default, a better investment than jobs and careers. First, I want to say I'm not telling nobody to not work for themselves. I'm not telling them not to work for themselves. I'm not telling people not to invest. But I'm here to expose the underrated aspect of jobs and careers. They have their place. So let's say somebody says invest 50, let's say 100,000. Invest 100,000 into this or that, whatever it is, it doesn't matter, right? And you'll get back, let's say 12%. Now, some people are going to say that's better than it sitting in a bank. I get that part, but there's levels to this, and I'm going to get to that. So yes, it seems like it's better than sitting in a bank, right? But let's break down that 12%. I don't have a calculator, but it's somewhere around 10,000 or something like that. But you spent 100,000 to get that 12,000. Yeah, it's 12,000, or I said 15%, right? So it's 15,000. If you had 100,000, right? Am I correct? I think I'm correct. All right. So you spent 100,000 to get 15,000. But let's say, here's the good part that people don't look. Let's say you just kept working for free, right? You worked all year for free, and you saved way more than that 15,000, and you still had that 100,000. Which one sounds better to y'all? Again, I'm not telling people not to invest, not telling people not to work for themselves. But again, let me break it down again for the people who just popped in. You have 100,000. You invested it, and let's say you get back 15,000 for the year, right? Or you say you don't touch that 100,000 for now. You know what I'm saying? And you just keep working, and you save more than that 15,000 after tax, mind you, because you're going to pay tax on that percent that you got back. Which one is better, people? Would you rather still have your whole 100,000 and keep working and still and have way more than 15,000, or would you rather use 15 or 100,000 to get $15,000? Would you rather work, or would you rather use your 100,000? Again, this is the underrated appreciation of jobs. Then you have some people who say, well, I'm not going to start here to get here. You know, they don't want to start here in life to get to here in life. So they say, I'm not working. I'm just going to wait till something magically happens. Some big investment happens. What if you have to grind to get your money right before you can make that a big investment? Which is going to bring me to the point of the money sitting. Because a lot of people are acting like, you know, it's kryptonite if money is sitting. What if you invest in this small shit because you didn't want your money to sit, but you never let your money build to where you can invest in something real big? Sometimes bigger and better investments require a lot more money. But you could never get there if you was thinking, well, I'm not going to let my money sit. I'm just going to invest it in stocks or something, which is nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that's wrong. But sometimes there's levels. You got to do different things. You got to be diverse. You see what I'm saying? LeBron James has a job playing basketball. That is his career. Whether y'all accept that or not, whether y'all think, well, he makes millions, it's still his job. It has nothing to do with his businesses on the side. That is his job. Why do you think so many of these athletes can fall off or go broke after they're done playing? Because a lot of times, them investments that they make are not as good as their so-called career. That is facts. So sometimes a lot of people are so quick to invest in this and this and that, that it's not really a better investment than their job or their career. It's a fucking fact. And then you have some people who are not willing to invest in a job or career to actually get money to invest in something. They want to jump from A to fucking Z. They don't want to go through the whole course of things. All I'm trying to tell y'all is I'm not saying you shouldn't invest, you should. You should still work too, though. I advise people who want to invest, keep working. Don't get rid of your job, dog. LeBron James don't get rid of his job, does he? Do all them other people get rid of their job, or they keep working and investing? Just wondering. Even Jay-Z still has a job. He still raps. He still runs Rock Nation. He still probably fucks with Def Jam. That's his job. He don't just get paid off in investments. But all people hear in the rap music videos, boss, I'm a boss, and they neglect the fact that bosses still have jobs. You know what I'm saying? They still have jobs too. They just getting paid off of other shit. But do not underestimate that job, that career thing. Until you actually find something that actually pays or does much better than your career, why invest in it? Only way I say, invest in something that really doesn't pay better than what you're doing with your career, meaning you can profit and save more by just working than investing, is if you don't have to be at that investment. But I still would not pay $100,000 to get $15,000. Why? I can just go do it myself. Why would I pay $100,000 when I could just go to work and get more than that for the whole year? So why would I pay $100,000, right, to get $15,000 back? That's 15%, right? Mind you, the taxes got to get paid, right, for the whole year, when I could just go to work for the whole year and have way more than that. It don't make sense. And still have my $100,000, because you never know what's going to come in life. You never know what investment you're going to run into. You might run into a perfect investment, but don't have enough money because you was the one that said, stop letting that money sit. Because you heard somebody say that, so by default, you automatically think it's just a crime to have money sitting, which I get why people think that, but there's levels to this shit. It's a marathon, not a race. Not a race. It's a marathon, not a race. I see Rodney. I'm not sure how long it took him to get his barbershop thing. I'm sure he didn't do it overnight. Matter of fact, if y'all in the Columbus area, look up Rodney, man. I'm sure he wouldn't mind y'all coming through. Hey, if he was here, he would definitely be cutting my hair. That's a fact. I don't even have a barber right now. But what I'm saying is this, man. Don't underestimate these careers, man. And get your investments on the side and shit too, but keep that job, man. LeBron James keeps his job. Jay-Z has a job. They don't just invest, they have jobs. Don't let that shit underestimate. And if you're a younger person, stop making people let you feel bad, or stop letting people make you feel bad because they want to throw this boss word around, which is nothing wrong with that. But you just starting out, and now they make you feel bad, like, well, damn, I got a job, so you know what? I don't want to do this shit. Fuck that shit. I'm too good for this shit. Nah, you gotta start somewhere. Invest in that job. Why? Because that job, while you going to work, you got a bigger plan than that. See, they don't see your plan. All they do is see you working at a job right now, but you got a bigger plan than that later on. Or maybe, if it was up to me, what I really want to do is keep working at my job, or find something outside of my job where I ain't even got to be there to make money. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to do, if anything. But some of y'all, you got to start walking before you crawl, man. And it's okay to have that job or career. You know what I mean? Before you start running, before you take your $1,000 and then try to invest in the stock market, which you might blow the fuck up. I don't know. But the thing is this, though, what I'm trying to say is, don't underestimate going to work and making money too. Because let's say you did invest that $1,000 in the stock market, right? And then you get $100 back, you know what I mean? Maybe in a year or something. Or you could have just went to work and kept that $1,000 for now. But then sometimes you can invest in the stock market and make a lot of money overnight or something. But you also can lose it overnight too. See, everybody want to just paint this picture that investing is so easy, it's a cakewalk, and you don't take losses, and that's bullshit, dog. That's some bullshit. You're going to take some losses. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm not telling people not to work for yourself. I'm not telling people to invest. What I'm trying to get, the point I'm trying to get across to people is, be careful when you do it. And your job or your career is an investment too. Stop letting people make you think it's not. If you stay consistent at your job let's say you might not make a lot, but you save with income tax, you save $20,000 a year at your job. You know, not counting you spending money and having fun, but just saved up. That's an investment. I don't know, but if people got y'all thinking if you have a job, there's no way it's not an investment at all. It is an investment. You still profiting $20,000. There's no guarantee you're gonna go in the stock market and invest in something and profit $20,000 within that year. So how's the job not an investment, people? It is. It is, man. No way I'm taking 100,000 to gain 15,000. I'm not doing it. The only way I would even consider that is if it was something that you knew would last for life and you ain't got to be there to deal with it. Then maybe, but you got to wait 10 years just to even break even. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that I might have to wait 10 years to break even on something. If I'm going to invest a long-term investment, I don't want to put a lot of money into it because I'm not going to get it back. It's more like, okay, I'm going to put this money here and forget about it. Give it to your kids or something. That type shit. There's short-term, long-term, and right now investments, I guess, like current term. That car is way too close, man. Get over. God. That motherfucker way over here. I ain't got no more room to move over, man. Yeah, man. It's an investment, man. It really is. It's how you do it, man. What you do. Just like, you know, some people feel like by default, a house is better and a better investment than rent. And I understand why they feel this way. Because they feel, well, you're not throwing away your money if you buy a house, but if you rent, you're throwing your money away, right? That's not always true, though. Because sometimes you might buy a house, right? And break even with that house, or even break to where you owe money on the house, and you still got to pay property tax. Sometimes houses can be liabilities. Not always, I get it. But let me get on that rent part where they say by default, if you rent, you're throwing your money away. I get it, but what if I'm renting, right? And I never have to worry about a $10,000 furnace or none of that. And by me renting, I'm getting way ahead in life. See, it's an investment. I'm still paying to live somewhere just like a person who's buying a house, except for I'm doing it in a much cheaper way, which will give me more money to even possibly buy a house one day, versus somebody who's buying a house and sometimes they're living check to check and they can't invest in shit. The only thing they can invest in is a house. But if you rent, you kind of leave the opportunity open to where you can save a lot more money, you know, all this shit, right? And then you could possibly invest in a house or buy a house later or something. You invested, you took a different approach to it, and it might have been more beneficial. Some people are going to say the mortgages is cheaper than rent. I already know that, right? But at the same time, you still can have expenses like your furnace breaks or something like that, right? I get it. Like if you paying fucking $1,000 for rent or more than that, shit, you probably should buy a house. I mean, that's a lot. But everybody who renting usually ain't paying no damn $1,000 or $2,000 for rent. They're usually paying a pretty reasonable price, which is actually allowing them to get ahead if they're smart, which is an investment. There's more investments out here than just a stock market or buying a house, which I'm not knocking. I don't want people to think I'm knocking these ideas. I'm just telling people to go about it the right way, that's all. And I'm also telling people, don't underestimate your job or career. Same thing to me. Job, career, same thing. Because even if you like 15 starting out, working and shit, that is your career for now. You know what I mean? It might not be your career forever, but it is for now, basically. Some of y'all 15 years old, no rent. What the fuck are you doing? Dumb, man. Who pulls in the damn parking lot like that? This motherfucker literally pulled in 50 miles per hour to Popeye's drive-thru. Like, there's nobody here. Like, come on, man. Who does that? Anyways, back to what I was saying. You 15, right? You ain't got no bills. But you let people tell you that you got to be a boss by default starting out, so you don't want to go to work and save your money while you still living with your mom and shit. Nah, that's too you too good for that, huh? Because you a boss. Come on, man. Stop letting these titles gas you up. Again, okay, a person is a boss, right? He works for himself. And he has a lot of expenses and all that. He does pretty good, right? But then you got this other person who works for a company or something and does way better. Some people will have you believe, the whole world has y'all believe that by default, that person who works for himself is better off than that one. That's not always the case. That's the point I'm trying to make, and that's why it goes back to what I was saying earlier. It's all about investment. Investing in the smart shit. You know what I mean? Not just anything. I'd rather be the worker for now. Until I find an investment that gives me profit, a better profit than what I could do just by going to work, then I guess I won't be investing until I find it. Because guess what? Some people say, well, it's just sitting there. The money just sitting there, blah, blah. That's fine. What if 10 years from now, boom, this big ass investment comes along that's perfect and I got the money for it? Versus I don't have the money for it because I didn't want the money to sit there. I wanted to put it in the stock market and gain 10% or some shit like that, if that, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like fucking 2,000 a year and I got 50 sitting there or something. I get the aspect of bank versus stock market and all this shit. But sometimes you don't want that money tied up because you never know in life when that big opportunity might show up. You never know. But if you got your money tied up here, and there, you got your money tied up in a house because you bought a house, you can't do nothing. I'd rather have that shit free, so when something comes along that you really want to deal with, you can do it. Versus, damn, my money's tied up in here, I gotta sell this, I gotta sell that. I want to do it, but I can't. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not knocking people who buy houses, invest in this and that. I'm not knocking none of that. All I'm saying is all of it's relevant. The housing, the investing in the house. Sometimes you rather rent, whatever's better for you. Stop letting people, oh, I'm not a homeowner. I don't have to be a homeowner yet. Neither do you. If it's better for you to rent, why the fuck would you be a homeowner? Unless you're going to make some type of profit or something out of it, right? I thought it was about profit, not titles. So, you know, I don't understand. I can't explain it no better way. Spend $100,000, get $15,000 back. I even give y'all this. $30,000 back in profit out of 1 year. Or don't spend that 100 and make that 30,000 profit. Only way I see that profit is worth spending on is if it's something that you don't have to be there for. You know what I mean? And it's consistent, and you kind of know that this will always be around. There is no other way there's no other reason, should I say, to do it. Why? Why would you? You might as well wait for something that comes along that you might not have to be there for. You know, you can still work at your shit and invest in that. You ain't got to be there. That's really the name of the game. Because, see, this is another thing. People say, I'm a boss. But if you're still there and you're physically there doing your work, even though you're working for yourself, you're still working. You're still working, because a lot of people will say you're building someone else's dream. How you figure? If somebody goes to a job, they're doing it for them. Because even if I'm doing business with another guy, he's still going to get his piece out of he's going to get his slice regardless. So Jay-Z goes to Def Jam. Is he building their dream or his? They still getting a slice. So it doesn't matter if you Jay-Z going to Def Jam or you're a kid going to fucking Arby's or wherever. You know what I mean? It don't matter. If you're doing it for you and you do it correctly, if you do it the right way, you're building your dream. Nobody said you had to be there forever. That's people who don't think straight and correctly. Or people who heard some smooth words and then they piggybacked off the words. That's all I beat a lot of times. You're building, I'm building my own dream and you're building someone else's. They just heard that from somebody. But, okay, you can go ahead and build your own dream, but it looks like my dream that you claim I'm building for somebody else is profiting way more than your shit. Not knocking your shit, but I'm just saying. And that don't mean that I'm not going to work for myself eventually. See what I'm saying? You gotta stop looking at what other people are doing and look at your damn self. Focus on you, man. Because a lot of that looking over here and over there, a lot of times that's going to be the cause of your demise, to make you fall off and shit. Everybody's situation is different. So you can't, what worked for this dude might not work for you. Okay, it works for him to buy a house because he has a family and shit, but I don't. Why would I do that? Not saying I shouldn't, but it might not work. It might not be best. Might not logically make sense. Like, why would I do that right now if I can get rent here and it's only me? It don't make sense to have a big ass house. I remember that one of my female friends, I haven't spoke to her in a long, long, long time, but she even told me that it was better to, she's like, you're better off doing what you're doing than renting. I kind of regret buying my house. And she had a nice house too. So, like I said, it's not always cracked up what it's cracked up to be. And as far as that boss shit and that business shit, a lot of times a lot of people are making y'all believe that once you are a so-called boss or whatever you want to call it, that you don't have to work no more. And the reality is this: a lot of times the bosses work harder than the workers. They work harder than the workers, and sometimes they don't get profits. So again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. If you're going to jump ship from working your career, to something else, you better make sure that it's the right choice. Because a lot of times that shit that glitter over there ain't really glitter. And then this shit over here that look like dust sometimes be diamonds. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying, y'all. That's all I'm saying. But if you could do both, that's really what you want to do. Like AKA LeBron James and them, Tom Brady and them. They got businesses, I'm sure, on the side, but they also have a job. Their job is to play football. That is their fucking job, man. And a lot of them athletes fall off because they don't have a job anymore. They can't play football anymore. They got some investments in stocks and all that, but it ain't paying like their job. And a lot of times that's what happens with people. If you break it down to, like careers, and then people invest in the stock market, it don't be paying like your job. Sometimes, not always. Of course, you can get lucky overnight in the stock market or some shit. But another thing about the stock market too, and selling these houses and shit, you still gotta pay taxes. So that profit you getting, you might well bust that shit down a little bit. You know what I mean? That contract that football player got, it's not really $3 million, because he gotta pay people and everything. You know what I'm saying? So again, before I go, take $100,000, get a $15,000 profit, right? But you still got to pay, and we talking about in 1 year's time, let's say that too, but you still got to pay taxes and shit. Or I can just keep the $100,000 and go to work and profit probably way more than that. Even if I didn't profit more than that, even if I didn't, let's say that, even if I only saved $15,000, I don't owe taxes on it because the taxes come out your check, right? Unless you are self-employed, then you got to pay taxes and all that. But you don't owe taxes on it. You still have your $100,000 versus you spent $100,000. You made $15,000 profit. Now you only got $15,000. You better hope to God that shit don't fall off. Because if so, you're still 85,000 in the hole, dog. You know what I'm saying? You still 85 in the hole. And one more thing before I go. Like, some things we purchase is investments, whether we want to admit it or not, like buying a car. That's an investment. That's why I'm hesitant on buying it. I want a car bad, but I know it's not going to pay me back, dog. So, like, if you go out and buy a $70,000 car, that is a $70,000 investment you made. Whether you want to admit it or not, you made that investment. It's no different than buying a house, too. That's why I feel like if you buy a house, it better be paying you back. Because if not, it's just a purchase. You better make a profit off of somehow, some way. If not, you just bought a car to live in, basically. And some people will say it gains value and shit. That's fine. I said if you make profit back. But usually houses don't gain value like that unless you put value in it, which is the same thing. You're still spending money. Like, some people actually believe if they put $20,000 into a house and it raises the value of the house $20,000, they actually believe they're profiting. No, you just spent $20,000 to make your house worth $20,000 more. It's the same fucking thing. How's that different? I don't understand. People need to start using calculators or their brain or something. And I'm not being funny. But if investing and all this shit was so damn easy, everybody would do it. Everybody would be rich, right? It's not that easy. And it's obvious that you really have to think these three things through, man. I'm out of here, y'all.